Welcome back in to another episode of Spaceman 2.0 Phoenix Truth Christos Rising Show. Here to help you grow in the knowledge and wisdom of truth, and the truth will set you free. With the best history lesson and spiritual insights on the planet, exposure of the Illuminati's plan of world conquest and control is the death knell to the New World Order. So that being said, not necessarily going to get into a Phoenix journal, but I will get into, I got about 5 or 6 different Bibles here. I'm just not picking one that's particularly perfect. I'm just saying this is the one I'm using right now. I don't really care. I'm just using it. It's called the English Standard Version, but that's besides the point. It creates a general understanding of what I want to go into today. So the creation of the world, Genesis. One of my subscribers asked me about that, and I'm going to explain it today about the first letter, BRASHITH, actually is an acronym for the destiny of Jesus Christ. The creation of the world. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and there was evening, and there was morning the first day. So I'm not going to get into it, how the firmament and the waters above and the waters below. That's another day. But the first word, in the beginning. Okay, now, I'm also going to say that this first sentence, well, actually number 2, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And then number 3, and God said, "Let there be light." Number 2 and number 3 is actually the way to manifest things, and I'm going to go over that another day. There's a meditation that goes along with it. I might have to set up like a school, SKOL program or something for you guys to look into, because it's not for everyone just to see on the internet. It is a special meditation, but it's so perfectly clear here with the first 1, 2, 3, and that goes to show that there's 3 letters of creation that are very important as a hint, as a clue, and I already went over some of those. Within all these letters here, there's only 6 that you really need to know. And that's an interesting number right there in terms of manifestation that the elites use, the number 6. Before I get into in the beginning and showing you how that first word actually predicts Jesus, I'm going to say a little bit about the book of Revelations and number 2 and 2:6. Yet this you have. You hate the work of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. Okay, who are the Nicolaitans? They believe that you don't have to keep the law. You just have to have faith in God. And you can also eat the sacrifices or the offerings of food you give to idols and stuff like that. I don't know what that equates with today. I have my thoughts, but I'm not going to share that. This is up to you to figure that out. But the next one, 7. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To the one who conquers, I will grant to eat of the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God. So here we have depiction of the tree of life. And as you understand the tree of life and all of its elements and aspects, it's a form of eating of the tree of life to grow in knowledge and wisdom of truth and the unity of yourself. Unity is number 13, and ahava with a B is number 13. So it takes love to get from 6 to 1, or from Christ to God. Christ taught love is the only way, the path, the truth, the life. So back to Genesis, the creation of the world in the beginning. Okay, let's go over my notes that we went over today. Just a little bit about tree of life, Kabbalah, how you can break it down and understand it through gematria, the value of words by numbers. Okay, we went over that a little bit with the Ruach Elohim is the Spirit of God, and Shin, this letter here, right here, Shin is 300 and Ruach Elohim is 300. So the Spirit of God, and Shin, which represents the Holy Trinity, is one and the same in terms of numerical value, depicting that they have an agreement, an understanding, a connection, and a oneness. Notoraikin is another way of understanding different words in the Bible, like acronyms. Okay, you can make each letter or the first and last letter or even the middle letters of a word into another word. So that being said, we can go over a fun little acronym here, BRASHITH, in the beginning, right? In the beginning, that one word, the first word, actually connects with Ben, Ruach, and Father. And it kind of goes over here in some of the bottom ones I'm going to show you. But for the Jews, which 90% of the rabbis speak Yiddish and not Hebrew in Israel right now, because remember I went over, they're mostly the descendants of the Khazarian barbarians, and they took on that religion. They never really took on the Hebrew lineage or language. They just used that language to make up their own words, which is called Yiddish. And now that's why they have to go to Hebrew school, and the children go to Hebrew school, yeshivas, and they know more Hebrew than their grandparents. And that's given by the horse's mouth, right, from Jews that went to Israel and told me that a lot of rabbis can't even speak Hebrew. So that being said, was it given to them, or was it given to the true Semitic Mesopotamian people of that time, the Sumerians? Brashith, Brashith, Ra, Elohim, Shikbla, whatever, Israel, Thavra. So as you put the consonants in there, you can pronounce that, but this means in the beginning, the Elohim saw that Israel would accept the Torah. I don't know, that's kind of debatable right now because they follow the Talmud, and the Talmud's given more credence, and they give more credence to the actual sages instead of the scriptures. But that's another story. There's 63 books to the Talmud, and they put that above the Bible. But let's get into some other fun acronyms for the Christians. Brashith can be Ben, Ruach, Ab, Shephathem, Echad, Thamin, or whatever. The Son, the Spirit, the Father, their Trinity, perfect unity. So that's pretty interesting. Then you can go down here. I'll show you this one. Ben, Ruach, Ab, Shalostem, Yakad, Thabodo. I can't pronounce this stuff. I'm just saying. The Son, the Spirit, the Father, you shall equally worship their Trinity. Okay, and then you have another one over here. Brashith can be Bakvri, Yashiv, Ashir, Shomo, Yeshua, Thabodo. You shall worship my firstborn, my first, whose name is Jesus. So we're having fun here with acronyms, but it's quite interesting that you can put these acronyms very simply into the first word. Another wonderful acronym right here is, I can't pronounce this, Bava, Reuben, Ashir, Shamu, Ashvo, Thabodo. When the Master shall come, whose name is Jesus, you shall worship. Now, worship, more like reverence and respect, understanding. And here's the next one. So with that being said, I will choose a virgin worthy to bring forth Jesus, Yeshua, and you shall call her blessed. So an interesting word to contemplate for the day. In the beginning, Brashith, B-R-A, Bene, the